Hello and welcome to the ScreenCloud onboarding video. This is a video that's going to show you how to set up ScreenCloud for the best practices, and we're also going to cover a few of our newest features on the Studio ScreenCloud platform. Once you've selected which device you want to use for your screens, we're going to make sure we've added Wi-Fi to them and downloaded the ScreenCloud app for that media player. And then what you're going to see on your screen is a 6-digit code. At this point, you can go to our website at screencloud.com/free trial to start your free trial and create an account for your company. Once you've logged into your account, we're going to want to add a screen to your account. So what we're going to do is going to go up here and select new screen. Then we're going to type in the 6-digit pairing code that you see on your screen right now. Now that's paired, we're going to want to give it a name. So for this, I'm actually going to use ground floor reception, because that's where the screen is going to be. Groups are really important. They help you to manage lots of screens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new group here. So I'm going to call it the LA office. Add that. And I'm going to continue. Now what you're going to see is this is your screen configuration panel. This is where you can find out what's playing on the screen. You can see the rotation, what group it is. We also have tags, so I'm actually going to give this a tag reception, as that's where the screen is going to be placed. If you want to see the status of your screens, all you need to do is just go back, and then you can see the LA office screen. It's now live, it's green, but if you see grey, that means it's offline. So it's always a good way just to see where your screens are. Grouping of screens is really important, especially when you're managing large amounts of screens. So you can see here that we already have a few different groups, different offices. But if you wanted to create a new group, all we need to do is go up here, new screen group, and I'm going to add a new office here. So I'm going to use the Tokyo office. And then you can see down here, that's where the office is. And again, if you want to move screens, all you need to do is simply drag and drop, and then you can add screens around. One of the new features that we have is the bulk updates feature. So this is a way to easily update and change your screen, especially when you have hundreds or thousands of screens. So what you're going to see on the side here is these little check boxes. So you have them at the group level, or you can have it at the whole all screen level. And then once you've selected the tick boxes, you're going to have this toolbar come up here with 4 different options. So you have set content, which is a really quick way to get content up on your screens. Casting is when you want to take over the screen, especially for emergency messaging. You have refresh screens, so just if you've made some recent changes or you just want to refresh all your screens, you can do that. Or then move, so especially if you have a large number of screens that you need to move that are ungrouped into a new group, then that's the best way to do it. But I'm actually just going to click refresh here and just make all my screens refreshed. Great, that's now done. Is a way that you can set the transition between each individual piece of content within your channel. So for example, when you go to your screen configuration panel here, you're going to see enabling transition. So I'm just going to select enable transition, and then you get a different option for the way that you want it to transition. So I'm actually going to use slide, and the duration between the transitions, so I'm going to keep it at 0.5 seconds, and I actually want it to come from the left. Great. Now that means that every piece of content that you have will transition in this. And again, you can set this differently to each individual channel that you have. Media library, this is a great place where all your media gets uploaded, whether it's images, whether it's documents, whether it's videos. This is the place that it's going to be done. So you can see here we've already uploaded a few documents and images, but I'm just going to upload some more. So you go up to here, select upload, and this brings up the media uploader. And you'll notice that we have a large range of different sources of where files and images and videos can come from. But I'm just going to stick with my computer, and I'm going to click Browse. And I'm going to select the Team Day Out image, and I'm going to upload that. One of the cool tips that you have with ScreenCloud Studio is you can actually edit images before you actually upload them to your media library. So you go over here and click Edit. You have a few different options, so you can crop it, you can crop it with a circle, or you can rotate. So I'm just going to slightly crop this, and I'm going to save that. That's all done, and I'm going to upload that. Now that's all uploaded. One of the things that you can do is you can expire content and make it available at certain times and days that you want it. So for example, I have this happy work anniversary, so I'm going to select into here, and then you have this option to schedule it. So we're going to click here, and then we're going to enable schedule. This brings up a calendar. So for example, if I only want this content to be available from next week, and then I want it to end by the start of the other week, then that's the best way to do it. And this is really useful for when you're running things like seasonal campaigns and that you don't want content to be running past the time that you need it to. And then as you can see here, it just a little identification that this content has been scheduled. Similar to your screens, you're going to want to manage all of the content that you have, especially if you have a large number of images and videos. What we have in ScreenCloud is we have the folder system. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up here and select new folder, and then I'm going to call this office. And then what you can do is you can easily drag in images that you want and videos and files into that office folder. And then if you select into this folder, you can actually select and create new subfolders. So again, you're going to go up here, select new folder, and then I'm going to call this trail. And then again, you can select images, and you can click into that folder, and you can see this is the flow of your folder. So you can easily get between and click between the different folders that you have. Channels. The best way to think of channels is like a TV channel. It's where you can split all your content by different departments, by a particular theme, as well as content management. You can do custom themes and custom zones. So let's go ahead and create one. So I'm going to click create new channel here, and I'm going to call this HR News. You can also change the theme of the channel here just to easily identify it. So you can have a different choice of different colors, or you can upload your own image, but I'm going to keep it as this. In terms of the orientation, you can choose whether it's a landscape or portrait, but my screen's landscape, so I'm going to keep it like that. Now that my channel has been created, I'm going to start adding content to this. So I'm going to select add content. This brings up my media picker. Then I'm going to go to my recently uploaded images and files. And I'm going to just start selecting a few of these that I want to upload. Click add. And that gets added to my channel. Once you've uploaded your content, you can have the option to schedule it. So for example, let's just say this event that we want running, I actually want to run for a specific date. So again, this is a really good way to organize campaigns, again, especially if it's seasonal or if you know that you want some content running really far in advance, you can do that. So I know that I have it running on Wednesday the 10th to Friday the 12th. And also you can do the duration of content. So for example, this is set to 10 seconds as a default. But all I need to do is go into here and just say if I want it to run for a minute, I can easily do that. Next thing you can do with a channel is you can set a theme to the channel. And then what themes are really important for is keeping that branding and your unique style consistent across all of your content and apps that you add to your channel. So what we're going to do is going to go over to settings, and we're going to add an enable and channel theme. So right now we don't actually have any themes. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and create a new theme. So I'm going to select here. When we're here, we're going to select new theme. This is where you're going to create the theme that you want. So I'm just going to give it a name. Call it that. I'm going to upload, you can have a choice to upload your own logo. So I'm going to do that now. So it's going to browse, add the logo, upload that. Once your logo is uploaded, again, you can add in your own brand colors. So again, I'm just going to select here. You can use the color picker here, or you can actually manually type in the hex code that you have. So that's what I'm going to do now. And you have lots of different options in terms of secondary colors, title, body colors. So I'm going to put in my secondary color as well. Great, so we have a choice with the different fonts. So this is my main title font. And then I'm going to put in the body font as well. Great, so this is my theme. I'm just going to click save. And now that's my theme that I've just created. So I'm going to set it as a default theme. So then when I go back to my channels, and then you enable channel theme, you can see that this is the default one that is set. So any apps that you add to this will carry the same theme that you've created here. Previewing your channel is really important. So you go up here and select preview. And what this does is that you can see the content that's showing up on your channel and what's going to be showing up on your screens. But what you can also do is you can actually click through to the different content that you have before it even gets there into your channel. It means that you can just skip ahead and just see what's kind of going on without having to wait. So you can do that on the side here, or you can select the directional arrows left and right. Then once that's all done, all you need to do is click publish. All your changes have been saved and that channel is now ready to go. Playlists are a really good way to organize your content. They allow you to group up all your content in advance. So what we're going to do is we're going to select create new playlist. I'm going to go and give it a name. So I'm going to call it office playlist. And then I'm just going to drag in the content that you want. So this is the most recent one, but you can also do it by media. You can do it by website links. You can do it by apps. So I'm just going to drag in a few files here. Again, you can set the duration that you want it to last, and you can also preview it if you want, but I'm going to go ahead and click publish. Now that's all saved. Then once I've created my playlist, I can go back to my channels. I can select onto here. I can edit the channel, and then if I want to add content, I can just simply add in the playlist that I've already created. And there you go, I've got all my content already made. Again, click publish, and those changes have been saved. In the new ScreenCloud Studio, there's lots of different ways to add content directly to your screens and very quickly. So we have the set to screen feature. So as you can see a different screen, you can see this button here. And you can click here and you can say browse more. And then all that does is it brings up the media library, and then you can pull in content from your channels, from your playlist, direct from your media. So I'm going to click this playlist, confirm that. And then all that does is quite simply adds the office playlist to your screen, just like that. Casting is really important for your screens, especially if you need to get a urgent message and take over your screens, whether it's a fire drill, whether it's an evacuation. Again, lots of different ways to do this. So what we suggest is tick box for the group that you want. You go up here and select cast, and then again you choose the media that you need to take over your screens. So I'm going to select the fire drill image, click confirm, and now what that does is that casts across all of those screens, and it's taken over the content with fire drill, as you can see here. And then once the fire drill is over, all you need to simply do is stop the casting from happening by clicking the square button. And then what it does is the content that was playing before just automatically starts playing again. As simple as that. If you want to cast a playlist, all you need to do is you need to go back to your playlist section, click through to the playlist, you go up here, and instead of saying set to content, all you do is select the cast option, then choose the screens that you need, click confirm, and then again, 3 screens are casting. You can go up here and you can see which screens are also being casted as well. And again, when you want that to stop, you just click the square button here. ScreenCloud supports lots of different apps and integrations, and lots of ones that you will be familiar with, whether it's Outlook, Slack, Dropbox, Twitter, Facebook, and Zoom Rooms. So when you go to our App Store, you can scroll down to see the ones that you want, or you can use our handy categories here. So what we're going to do is let's just add in an app for the moment. So I'm going to select the weather app. So I'm going to do a quick search, click weather. I'm going to create a new instance. So I'm going to call this office weather. So I'm going to go through a few of the different office locations. So I'm going to do New York. I'm going to do London as well. I'm going to make this Fahrenheit, keep it default, click save, and that's created the weather app for you. Then what you need to do is if you go back to your channels, and go back to my channel that I created earlier, I'm going to add some content. I'm going to add in the office weather here. And then what that does is that actually applies a theme that we created earlier to the Office app. So you can see it's got the same fonts and the same color scheme, keeping that consistency and keeping your brand in check up on your screens. Canvas is one of our newest apps in the ScreenCloud Studio store. And what it is it's a design tool, but you don't need to be a design expert to use it. And it allows you to create unique branded graphics for your digital screens. So let's do an example. So I'm going to select Canvas. I'm going to go and create a new instance of the app. And there's lots of different ways to create the branded content that you want, but we're going to do a few examples here. So you can add a background color if you want, or you can use an image. So I'm actually going to use an image for this. I'm going to upload one from my computer. Once that's uploaded, I'm just going to select add that. So now that's just uploaded with my background image. I'm actually going to add in some shapes. I'm going to use the rectangle. So I'm just going to position that here, extend it out as much as I want it to. I'm also going to change the color of the shape to be a bit more in line with the brand. There we go. I'm going to add in some text. So it's going to position the text over here. Now that I've added the quote that I want to do, I'm just going to edit this. So I'm going to change the text color to be white, and then I'm just going to increase the size of the text. Position that there. And then I'm going to give this a name, so I'm actually going to call it quote. It's a quote from Jane. Great. So now that's all done, you have a few different options. You can set it straight directly to one of your screens. You can preview it, or you can click save and then add that into one of your channels or playlists. Users, permissions, and spaces. This is really useful within ScreenCloud Studio. This is where you can set the permissions and the different criteria that people have in your organization to manage the content and the screens on your account. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to create a few different spaces and a few different groups and invite a few employees. So first what you're going to do is you're going to head over to Groups. Groups is where you can manage access permission roles for each different type of user. So at the moment we have admin, but I'm going to create a new group. I'm going to call it Hub Leaders because we have a few different offices around the world. And I'm going to have a leader for each one. So I'm going to create the group. Then I'm going to assign the permission to this group. So do I want it to be an admin? Do I want it to be managers, creators, or viewers? Well, I'm actually going to make them managers for this. Great. Now that you have the group, you can now start inviting your work colleagues. So I'm going to head over to People, and I'm going to start inviting people to it. So at the moment you have all, and I'm the owner of this organization. So I'm going to select Invite People. I'm going to invite my colleague. And I'm going to select the group. So he's one of our hub leaders in New York. And he's one of our hub leaders in LA. And then once you're finished, what you need to do is select the send invite. And what that does is that sends an email to those people in their email box to set up with ScreenCloud. Spaces is where you can create separate teams within ScreenCloud accounts. Each space is a collection of different screens, channels, playlists, and media available to specific groups of users. So right now you may have a different space for, say, different offices. So I'm going to go up here and create a new space. And this is going to be just for the New York office. Yep, that's all good. Great. Now that's all done. Audit logs is another really useful feature within ScreenCloud Studio. This is important when working with lots of different people to understand what content is being added and being changed, and you can see the recent activity on your account. Space-based billing provides the flexibility to manage and split and allocate the payments of your ScreenCloud accounts between different spaces. For example, this is really useful if, let's say, you have screens that are in your New York office, and you want to set up a separate billing account for those New York team, but you have separate screens in, say, London. And again, you want to set up a different payment method there. So what you're going to do is you're going to make sure that you're in your billing section of the account settings, and then going to select multiple billing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a new billing account. So we're going to give it a name account. So for this, I'm going to give it New York. Email address for them to be billed. So I'm going to give this of the New York person. I'm going to put in US dollars. We do support Great British pounds and euros as well, but I'm going to keep that as US dollars. So I actually want it to be this account. So it's important to be who you want to be invoiced. Is it this account, or is it actually the organization, the whole entire thing? But I'm going to make sure it's this account. And then again, I'm going to give it this account. And then I'm going to give it the New York spaces, and then click submit. And then all you need to do is simply add in the payment details, and the billing address for that account, and then click save changes, and then you're going to have that set up for this account. ScreenCloud Studio is mobile responsive. It means that you can manage your screens anywhere on the go, and if you need to check for updates or make changes, you can do this simply from your mobile phone. For a free trial of ScreenCloud, please visit screencloud.com/free trial. Thanks for watching.